Hey guys, it's Mrs. Cutting here, and this is part 2 of the Lesson 6 video. I am on page 35. 6.3, Finding Number of Groups. For each question, draw a diagram to show the relationship of the quantities and to help you answer the question. Then write a multiplication equation or a division equation for the situation described in the question. Be prepared to share your reasoning. And the first one is a lot to draw. How many 3/8 inch thick books make a stack that is 6 inches tall? So we need to draw 6 sections and split them up into eighths. I tried to do it just in my workbook, and it was just so many teeny tiny sections that I couldn't keep track of it all. So instead, I'm just going to show you a preview of what I did. So I took a piece of graph paper, and going the long way, it was 24 boxes. Well, it was 25 boxes, so I crossed that one out. And then every 4 boxes, I put a green line to show my 6 inches. And then I took each of those 1 whole inch boxes and split it into eighths, and that's what my pink lines are. And if you want to just copy this because it's so many boxes, that is perfectly fine. But otherwise, then we're taking it and splitting it into groups of 3/8. And I would redraw this, but I've already drawn it 4 times, and I keep messing up in my video. So this is my 3rd attempt at making the video, so regardless of what I say, I'm going to keep going. Okay. So each of these pink lines, each of these sections is 1/8. So I have 8 of those in each 1 whole inch. And then 3 of them together make up 1 group. So I have 1, 2, all the way up to 16 groups. So I went through and split this up into groups of 3/8. And there were 16 of them. And really, you have to count carefully because with this many teeny tiny boxes, it's very easy to mess up. So then for my division equation, it was 6 split up into groups of 3/8 equals 16, and 3/8 times 16 equals 6. And that's it for that first one. This picture was just kind of a nightmare. Alright, so then part B, how many groups of 1/2 pound are in 2 3/4 pounds? So I want you to try that one on your own before you watch mine. So I know that I need 2 3/4 pounds, and I want it split up into fourths, so I am going to use 11 boxes. So these 4/4 make 1 whole, these 4/4 make 1 whole, and then here's my extra 3/4. This box was not part of it because it was only 3/4, not 3 wholes. Okay, and I am splitting this up into groups of 1/2 pound. So these 2/4 together make 1/2 pound. This makes another 1/2 pound. This makes another half. This makes another half. This makes another half. And then I have 1 box. If I had this other ghost one over here, I would have another whole group, but I don't. So I only have 1 out of the 2 pieces I need. So I have 5 1/2. So then for my division equation, 2 3/4 split up into groups of 1/2. I can make 5 1/2 groups. And for my multiplication equation, 1/2 times 5 1/2 groups equals 2 3/4. Okay, last one. I want 10 boxes. I am doing, oh, I crossed something out in my workbook. We're just going to model this, the 5 divided by 1.5. So I'm using 10 boxes. Please pause me and try it on your own and then come back. So I have 5 that I'm splitting into groups of 1.5. So I'm first going to split this up into my 5 holes. And then I want 1.5, so that's 3 groups of 1/2 for each section. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then I have this one piece left over. If it was another whole group, I would have 3 pieces. These are my ghost boxes that I don't really have. So since I have 1 out of the 3 pieces, this is 1/3. So for my division equation, 5 divided by groups of 1.5 equals 3 1/3. So we have 3 whole groups and 1/3 of another group. And then 1.5 times 3 1/3 equals 5. Okay, we're going to go over the summary real quick. I know this is a lot of me blabbing on the video today. I'm sorry. Tomorrow I'll be back and you can see me blabbing in real life. Look at that. All right. Bottom of page 35. A baker used 2 kilograms of flour to make several batches of a pastry recipe. The recipe called for 2/5 of a kilogram of flour per batch. How many batches did she make? We can think of the question as how many groups of 2/5 kilogram make 2 kilograms. And what that's saying is that's really doing 2 split into groups of 2/5 equals question mark. So to help us make sense of the question, we can draw a tape diagram. This diagram shows 2 whole kilograms with each kilogram partitioned into fifths. So this was the dividing line. That's 1 kilogram, 2 kilograms, and they split it into fifths, and then they split it into groups of 2/5. So we have 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups. We can see there are 5 groups of 2/5 and 2. And then if we were to multiply that, that's how we can check our answer. This gave us a whole number, but sometimes the number of groups may not be a whole number. So in this one, we were finding how many groups of 3/4 of a cup are in 3.5 cups. So this was 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, and that extra half. So we're splitting it into groups of 3/4. So here's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. And then we have 2 pieces. If we had this ghost piece over here, we would have another full group, but we don't. So we only have 2 out of the 3 pieces we need. So this is 2/3. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2/3. Okay, so your next job is your homework, which is page 37, 1, 2, and 3. I need you to draw the diagrams for each of those. And that's it. See you tomorrow.